Hello everyone, this is ponderonweather coming at you with another update. In this update, we talk about a major winter storm with some blizzard conditions out west and some heavy snow. Then also a snowstorm for the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media. All right, so let's get started. Here's the latest watches and warnings. When we got a lot going on this morning, we've got blizzard conditions out west with just some dangerous snow and high winds. We're talking upwards of 100 miles an hour in places and feet of snow just between now and Friday morning. So, and then we got winter storm watches inundated for portions of California. Winter weather advisories for Oregon and Washington, getting into Idaho, and this other system that we talked about has in fact moved further south, and we've got winter weather advisories all the way from Kansas to Missouri, all the way extending into North Carolina, if you can believe it or not. So let's kind of delve into the details. Let's first of all talk about that blizzard warning that's happening out west. I mean, we're talking dangerous conditions. So this is just between essentially now, this is Wednesday morning when I'm doing this video, all the way to Friday morning. So just 2.5 days. I mean, we're talking some crazy amounts of snow, anywhere upwards to 66 inches. I mean, we're talking almost 6 feet just in a 2.5 day time span. And some of these upper ranges can be, the winds 50 mile an hour at the lower elevations, but up to 100. And I've seen some reports up to 125 miles an hour. So you can imagine they've got avalanche warnings out there. So just very dangerous whiteout conditions out west for a good chunk of the Sierra Nevada. And that is going to be extending all the way through Friday morning. So just very dangerous out there. But there's also that severe weather component that we're still having to deal with. I mean, that dumped some severe weather by Dallas, had that unfortunate EF3 tornado that was confirmed last night in Fultondale, Alabama. And that same dynamic system is still traversing across to the east. We have one more day to deal with it. So we were still under the gun for severe weather down here by Tallahassee, getting into southeastern parts of Georgia. So definitely be on the lookout of some strong to possibly severe thunderstorms later on this afternoon, as this system will finally swing off the coast and the severe weather threat will fortunately go away. But now let's kind of zoom in and take a look at some of the high resolution data. And it's picking up on that winter weather advisory that's happening in the central part of the U.S. in places like Missouri, under the gun right now for 1 to 3 inches of snowfall between now and tomorrow morning. So that snow is actually extending all the way into like Mountain Home, Arkansas, and that will continue pushing off to the east. And these are just hour by hour increments, but I kind of stopped a couple frames because as you take it throughout the day, this snow will keep extending into Illinois, southern Indiana, getting into portions of Kentucky by then. And this will continue pushing off to the east, dumping snow that just really hasn't seen that much snow this year in like eastern Kentucky. So now we're getting into places like Virginia, into North Carolina, and parts of southern West Virginia. We'll see some snow out of this deal of just over the next, today, getting into tomorrow morning, and this will continue moving across. This is by almost tomorrow morning on Thursday. So just within a 24-hour to time span, we're going to be dealing with this snow event that's going to be taking place into Virginia, getting into the Carolinas by then. And some of these totals could be pretty heavy, and we'll go over that here in a little bit. Let's take a look at some of these totals. Like I said, this is just between now and tomorrow morning, about a 30-hour time span. I mean, just in 30 hours, look at the graph of the snow in the mountains. I mean, we're talking 2 to 4 feet just in the next 30 hours. And this is crazy amounts that they're going to be getting in the Saharas. But yeah, just kind of sporadic. I mean, these are heavier amounts in the Northwest over portions of Idaho, getting into Nevada. but really kind of sticks out is into Missouri. I mean, places like St. Louis, I mean, 2 inches from this system. A good chunk of central and eastern Missouri is going to pick up some snow. And this swath, usually it's about 1 to 3 inches, kind of a fair guesstimate. And you can kind of see the graph down here below. But as we go into portions of, say, Virginia, getting into North Carolina, I mean, like, say, Greensboro, North Carolina, they could pick up about 6 to 8 inches from this system. I think Charlotte's going to be right on the edge from this system and not really pick up too much of anything. But even places like Virginia Beach could pick up a couple inches of snow from this system on the high resolution data as this continues moving off to the east. So that is just within the next 30 hours from this system. But now let's take a look at some of the upper levels of what's happening going forward. And you can see by Thursday morning, there's that trough that's going to be off the southeast coast that's dumping the snow for the Carolinas. We've got a ridge building in the middle of the country, but we also have a trough that's kind of digging in from the west and just keeping that snow threat and that blizzard threat alive for portions of California. So a lot of rain and snow for you guys up here in the northwest part of the country. That will continue moving across as we get into portions of Saturday night, getting into Sunday. This is by the 31st as we end January. That trough that was off the west coast of California is going to be in the middle of the country by then, and that's going to bring some more snow, starting to include portions of the Ohio Valley, getting into Iowa again with more, and that will continue moving across, and that will kind of set the stage for our potential bigger snow threat for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. I mean, this is what the upper level pattern looks like by the time Monday, Tuesday morning rolls around. And that trough will be just hanging off the coast. We've got the west negative NAO developing ridge over the top. We got a 50-50 low to the northeast. So this will kind of create kind of a blocking pattern. And this would tend to kind of slow the system down as it gets pulled northward. And as it slows, you can imagine it has the possibility to dump in some heavier snow amounts just in another 24 to 36 hour time frame, as this would continue moving up possibly the northeast coast by then as we get into the day on Tuesday. So now let's kind of take you back and, by what's happening at the surface. That low by Thursday will continue moving across on the east. This will kind of fast forward by Saturday morning. That low off the west coast will start to be over the Four Corners region by then, and we'll start setting the stage for another snow event that's going to be taking place by then, as some rain showers start to move in and parts of Texas and the southern regions. But as we continue the day all the way through the afternoon, overnight on Saturday, that low will start to really kind of get its act together by then, dumping some more snow in Iowa, where places like West Des Moines, you got like 13 inches of snow. I know Lincoln, Nebraska got like 14, 15 inches. So you were just inundated from a pretty big snowstorm. But you'll have a 5-day reprieve, but then you'll have more snow coming in by the end of the month. And that'll continue moving across central and northern Illinois, getting into central and northern Indiana, and getting into portions of Ohio by then, and then rain on the south side. And this will continue moving across, dumping some more snow. We could be dealing with some ice threat by then as the colder air starts to really protrude in, and we'll show you some of the temperatures. And there's some Arctic air going to be filtering in to the northeast by then, and that's going to be some pretty impressive cold shots. So as this continues moving east, I mean, it'll have a lot of cold air to work with. So that's why I do feel like this is going to be predominantly a snow event for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, because we've got Arctic air by Friday, by a Sunday morning. This is to end January. Yeah, we're talking below zero temperatures in a good chunk of the Northeast into New England, and even by the coast, where we could be picking, like, let's say 14 degrees in New York City. I mean, so we're getting some pretty cold numbers, and that colder air will be hanging around And we're still dealing with, widespread 20s on the backside for the Ohio Valley, into Wisconsin, and into Michigan for teens. So there's going to be plenty of cold air to work with as this system kind of moves across for the east by then. And as we get into the day on a Sunday afternoon by then, you can see this low starting to kind of really get its act together. There's the 540 line. That's typically where your snow line would be, as it's continued moving across, dumping some snow into Michigan by then, getting into northern portions of Illinois and Ohio, and then rain for you guys on the south side and into Kentucky, get into Virginia. But yeah, we might have to be dealing with an ice storm threat by then into portions of Virginia and portions of the Virginia area by then. And as this low continues to moving across, I mean, that's where it kind of gets tricky. And as it gets across, it starts to feel the effect of the negative NAO ridge up to the top. It starts to feel the effect of the 50-50 low. So where is it going to go? But, so the possibility looks to be it could potentially, slow down. I don't know about stalling, but at least slow down as this continues being felt by this, kind of gets trapped in this upper air dynamics. And that will obviously, with cold air in place, dump some heavier snows into the Ohio Valley, getting into the northeast by then. And this, as this low tries to get out of there, it gets trapped. I mean, it's along the coast. So you're talking, by Monday night, getting into Tuesday, it could potentially still be along the coast, still dumping some heavy snow for the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. And look, I mean, as we continue the day into the afternoon on Tuesday, if it gets trapped, I mean, it could still be hanging around the coast of the northeast into New England, keeping some heavier snows, and even by the coast by then as well. And as we continue to moving across, here's the snow amounts over the next 6 days. Let's start off in the northwest first. That's where we're going to have that bigger snow threat earlier on for the next several days in the Sierras. I mean, we're talking just crazy off the chart numbers there of upwards to possibly 6 feet plus, and some of the higher elevations even higher than that. But yeah, sporadic, several feet of snow, and then a good chunk of some of these higher elevations could pick up definitely some healthy snow. I mean, Flagstaff's up to like 22 inches just in the last several days, and they could be picking up more. And I think more comes on Friday. So, I mean, there's definitely some healthy snows out into the northwest. But then our eyes turn to, the mid-Atlantic and, the Ohio Valley region, the mid-Atlantic and the northeast, where, look at the graph down here. I mean, we could be picking up, upwards. This is where the snow threat would be with this particular system coming up, essentially for the end of the month, getting into the 2nd of February. So for those 3 days, yeah, we're talking a good chunk of the Ohio Valley. Even southern portions of Indiana and Ohio will be in under the gun this time. So I know you've been kind of missing out on these particular systems, but I do feel you're going to be getting it from this system, even down portions of West Virginia, getting into the Carolinas, I mean, getting into Maryland, DC. This definitely has the potential to pick up some healthy snows for the northeast. And if this does stall along the coast, obviously it'll be picking up some probably double-digit totals by then, just along the coast. So it's too far away to kind of go into detail as far as like precise locations for the exact snowfall totals, because this is over a 6-day time span. But definitely it has the potential to be a pretty big snowstorm for the mid-Atlantic and the northeast coming up by the end of the month, getting into the first day or two of February. So I will continue, fine tuning this event, but liquid precipitation going forward for the next 6 days. I mean, with snow and rain, I mean, you're just being inundated in California with avalanches in the mountains, landslides down closer to the surface, getting into southern portions of California, still dumping some heavier rains into Los Angeles, getting it by the desert Southwest. I mean, so you're going to be picking up some more healthier rains out in that region, and the Northwest will still pick up some much needed precipitation out there. But you can see where a lot of this will form in the fall, in the form of snow. But then liquid precipitation on the south side, we're going to be dealing with that severe weather threat and just 1 or 2 inches of rain over the next several days for the southeast. So I appreciate you guys watching. I know there's a lot to go over this morning, so thanks for hanging with me. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like this video. Definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.